What's up, everybody? This is David Jagno from the Koalition.com. I'm bringing you a little bit of footage from the Neverwinter beta, which is an MMO that will be free to play coming out this year, developed by Cryptic Studios, published by Perfect World Entertainment, and it's based on the Neverwinter setting and the Forgotten Realms of Dungeons and Dragons. You might be familiar with Neverwinter Nights, which is a other franchise that was first developed by BioWare, and then Neverwinter Nights 2 was developed by Obsidian. It's kind of a party-based single player. You can do co-op as well. RPG. This is an MMO, so it's going to be always online, always with other people, that kind of thing. So I have access to the press beta, bringing you some footage right here, and I wanted to show you the different character options that I have. And this is not finalized. This is all just beta footage. This is not final. Beta is beta. But I did want to show you the options I have already. From the race selection, you can be a tiefling. There's the default male model. And there's the default female model. Tieflings are definitely really cool looking. Kind of just Diablo-esque races as far as their looks go. There's the classic dwarf. As you can see, looks very dwarfish. It is a Dungeons and Dragons game, keep that in mind, so it's going to be very classic, high fantasy as far as the designs and lore go. Dungeons and Dragons pretty much defined what we regard as fantasy today, so you can expect it to be very, very typical high fantasy stuff, which I personally love. Here's the humans, and actually I'm going to go back real quick and we can look at their abilities that they come with. Infernal Wrath. And whenever I'm hit, I have a 10% chance to lower the power of the attacker by 5% for 5 seconds, which is pretty cool. I get additional ability scores and also Blood Hunt, 5% damage to targets below half health. So that's some pretty cool abilities. Dwarf, and if you've ever played tabletop D&D, these definitely are very reminiscent. I've personally played 4th edition, and I know I played a dwarf, and Stand Your Ground is exactly the same thing. You have increased resistance to being knocked down and repelled. You get, Constitution and Strength. Cast Iron Stomach, same thing. Increased damage resistance to dot effects. Right up here to the humans, and they're always recognized as the most versatile race in pretty much any fantasy game. You can see that here as well, that they have increased defense. They've got +2 to any ability score, so you can customize them however you want. 2 additional heroic feat points, which once again, this is stuff that's taken directly from D&D basically, which is very good for fans of the tabletop game and of their games in general. Here we go, you got elves, very traditional looking elf, got the ears and everything. Wild Step increases my chance to critically strike. You got increased dexterity, intelligence, and wisdom. And of course, you got the Elven Accuracy, increases critical strike by 1%. And there's the female model for the elf, I'm sorry. We go in here at the halfling. As you can see, female model there, male model there. They're bold, so their fearless nature increases their resistance to crowd control, which would be very good to have in parties for sure. Ability scores, they got dexterity, charisma, and constitution. And then also the small stature and quick movements give them nimble reaction, which is a 3% chance to deflect incoming attacks. Finally, we have the half-elf over here. As you can see, male model and female model. They're descended from elves and humans, so they're basically a hybrid between elves and humans. That's why they're called the half-elf, if you couldn't guess that. +1 to a non-class ability score, so they allow a little bit more customization as well. Similar to humans, as you can tell, they have that same kind of trait. Constitution, charisma, and wisdom. So that definitely sounds to me like they would make a pretty good paladin-esque character. And you're naturally better in many facets of life. +1 deflect, +1% critical severity, which I'm guessing is just critical damage essentially, and +1% gold find. So that seems like a pretty versatile class. It'd be good to use. And so let's go ahead and continue on here. I'm going to make a male half-elf. That sounds pretty good to me. And these are the classes available to me in beta. I can play as a trickster rogue, master of stealth and misdirection, maneuvers across the battlefield and strikes from the shadows. I got stealth ability, Slip into the shadows, gains combat advantage against targets. And for those unfamiliar with D&D, combat advantage is essentially, if you ever played an Elder Scrolls game, think of it like your sneak bonus. You do bonus damage and stuff like that. That's all the combat advantage really means. Right here, bait and switch. Another ability lets me jump back, drop a decoy in my place. Enemies near the decoy will attack it instead of me, that's a pretty cool ability right there. Bloodbath, flash around the battlefield, jumping from target to target, and they're slowed down and opened up to combat advantage. So that sounds like a very good party ability. And then thievery as well, so I can disarm traps that prevent me from taking more damage. And here's the devoted cleric. That's a pretty cool weapon. Go ahead and say that. So this is, as I've said, based on D&D, so it's going to have a very traditional class structure. It's probably going to rely very much on the Holy Trinity as far as party makeups are concerned, because it is very traditional. So there's a dedicated cleric class, as you can see, and I'm sure they'll be very useful against the undead as well, and general evil enemies and other players. This astral change lets me toggle between the enemy or an ally version. Right here, this is Healing Word, which is probably just my basic healing ability for the most part. I got Flame Strike, which does let me do some holy damage, and it's a nice offensive spell. And then also just have my Religion stat that lets me interact with religious objects, and it can often give me a bonus to combat skills. Alright, and we also have the Guardian Fighter, which looks pretty much exactly like the kind of character I like to play. So this is probably what I'm going to be going with. It's got a nice block ability. It lets me block all incoming damage in front of me at the cost of my guard meter. So that's pretty cool. It also negates control effects. Enforced Threat lets me taunt nearby enemies. Okay, very good. Very tank class, as I can tell. Fighter's Recovery. For 10 seconds, I gain hit points equal to 80%, 100%, 200% of the damage I deal. That's a pretty nice ability. And finally, Dungeoneering. I can detect secret doors and triggers, see traps, collect artifacts, etc. And this is coming soon, so there's a fourth class that they're going to unveil soon to play around with. But in the beta, I'm presented with these three. So let's go with the Guardian Fighter for now. Nice, I like the touch. They got the dice up there, so it feels like you're building a character that way. Okay. As a Guardian Fighter, my primary ability is Constitution, and then secondary Strength and Dexterity. That makes sense. Alright. What are my options here? +2 Constitution, +2 Charisma, or +2 Constitution, +2 Wisdom. I'm going to take that one, because I want to be like a paladin. Okay, so this is, character creation is basically like D&D. You can re-roll your scores. See, 14, 19, 13, 13, 20, 13, 14, 19, 13, oh, and I got, there we go. Seems to just be between those two. I'm going to go with that one, so it's a little bit more balanced between those. Let's continue on. Customize my appearance here. Select a preset and click Customize to further personalize your appearance, or click Continue to move on. Okay. Let's see, these are my options. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go with this one, see if I can customize it down a little bit more. Let's get the head shape. Check out the different options here. Let's go with that. Hairstyle, I'm a fan of, looking like a warrior bro, so I'm gonna go with the long hair right there. I'm liking that. Looks pretty good. Let's see, let's go with the eyes. I like the no pupils, white eyes. It's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. Eyebrows, let's get nice and bushy. Facial hair, definitely got to get that. But we're gonna keep the same color as my hair. Okay, close enough, close enough. Complexion. Let's go with rough. I like that. Okay, horns is probably for the tieflings. Tattoos. Oh, nice. A lot of tattoo options. I'm liking these. Okay. I'm just going to go with the full face one. Let's get it nice and red. I like that. That looks good. Scars. Alright. Let's go ahead and let's pick that one. That's fine. Face scaling, we'll leave that the way it is. Let's go with toned or heavy. No, I like heavy. Heavy looks good. And everything else is fine. Let's continue on. Here we get to pick our background, which is very important for a D&D character. You get to pick your origin here, so there's a lot of different places to pick from. A lot of different places. So I'm not going to go through all this now, but I'm going to go with Baldur's Gate, because that's always a great place to be from. I'm going to say I was a Flaming Fist mercenary, because that sounds awesome. Here we go. Deity affiliation. Alright. God of the Sun and Time. We're going to go ahead and just go with this one, because it's good for paladins who battle the undead, which is kind of the character I want to make. It looks good to me. Let's go ahead and get my typical character name in there, Thrymengor. And I'm going to leave the biography blank for now. Anyways, this is the character creation and the press beta for Neverwinter. You'll be able to check out game footage as well, so just keep an eye out on the channel. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.